In this feature demonstration, I'm going to show you how to stay informed with alerts. In this scenario, I'm an information worker in a site collection and I contribute content in a project site. And one of the challenges I face as an information worker is knowing when colleagues or other users within the organization are making changes to lists and libraries in SharePoint. So I'm going to show you how to set up alerts, and then after we set up an alert, I'm going to show you how to manage and make changes to alerts. We're also going to give you cautionary information about setting up alerts in SharePoint as well. Not all alerts are useful, and we'll go through the scenarios where it may be inadvisable to actually go through and set up an alert. So I'm going to first load the web page here, and I'm going to go to my projects team site. This is where I collaborate and work with most of my content. So I'm going to navigate to the shared documents library, and we'll notice that there's a number of documents in here, and these documents get uploaded and edited by users throughout the project site itself. And I'd like to set up alerts to actually manage and maintain a connection to this information, even if I'm not actively working in the library itself. So to do that, I click on the Library tab within the ribbon in SharePoint, and one of the icons here is Alert Me. So I'm going to select the drop down on Alert Me, and I'm going to specify that I want to set an alert on this library. So this alerts wizard actually gives you a title, the method of delivery, the types of changes that will trigger the alert, what sort of changes have to occur before the system will send you an alert, and we'll talk about the scheduling options we have as well. The first piece of advice I have is that you want to give it a descriptive title. We'll notice that the generic name, Shared Documents, is the name of the alert itself. And because that's going to appear as the title of the email, I want to make sure that this is a descriptive title. So I'm going to call this Project Shared Documents. So in most cases, you want to set up the delivery method to notify you by email when things change. However, depending on how your farm is configured, you may have the ability to set up text messages through SMS, or to send a link in the text message itself. So in this case, I've only got email set up. So I can also specify what sort of changes have to happen within SharePoint in order for me to get the alert. So I can say when anything changes, when anybody makes a change to any content or adds new content, this will send an alert. I can specify that only when new items are added, when existing items are modified, or items are deleted. When items are deleted is a very useful alert. If you've added content to a document library and you find within a couple of days that somebody's gone through and deleted that document, you can actually get a notification from SharePoint that somebody's gone through and deleted those documents. So in this particular scenario, I'm going to select that when new items are added, I want to get an alert from SharePoint indicating that some of my colleagues have added a new document to this document library. So I'm going to specify when anything changes, and I'm going to send a notification on a daily basis. Now I can have it send me a notification immediately, and within a 5-minute window of the document being created, SharePoint will send me an email. I can also schedule the alerts to occur at a specific time of day. And in this case, I want to get notified at noon that a document has been added. So on a daily basis, I'm going to get a summary of all events that have happened within the last 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And one of my colleagues and I have created a document, and we've collaborated on this hydroelectric generation document. And I'm particularly interested in this document, and I want to make sure that I'm staying informed when anybody makes any changes to this specific document. So to set up an alert on an individual item as opposed to the entire document library, I can select the contextual menu or drop down next to the document itself. And one of the options I have on the drop down is Alert Me. So I'm going to select Alert Me from the drop down. And we'll see that the description includes the name of the document library and the specific document that I'm tracking. So I'm satisfied that that alert title gives me enough information to know what document I'm being alerted on. I'm going to leave the default for email. and I'm going to say when somebody else changes a document created by me. That'll notify me when anybody has made a change to that document that I've uploaded into SharePoint, and I want to get a notification on this immediately. I want to know in a very short period of time that an item has been modified. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And I've now got an alert on this document library to notify me when anything new is created, and I've got an alert on this specific document to notify me if anybody makes changes to this document. So to give you another scenario, perhaps I manage a conference room on my floor, and I want to be notified when anybody creates a new booking for that conference room. So we can also set up alerts on lists. So I'm going to navigate to the conference room calendar for the projects team. And just like setting up an alert in a document library, we want to select the Calendar tab within the ribbon at the top. And from the ribbon button, I want to set up Alert Me. So I'm going to set up an alert on this particular list. So this alert is going to be set up on the conference room calendar, so I'm satisfied with the title of it. And I'm particularly interested when anything changes. So if any new item is added or any existing booking has been modified, I want to get an email. However, I don't need to be notified instantly or on a daily basis. Really, I just need to keep tabs on this about once a week. This will prevent me from having to go into SharePoint and actually go to this list and review all of the entries that have been added. So I'm going to specify that I want to get a weekly summary, and I need to do this early in the week. So I'm going to specify on Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning, I want to get an email summary of all the events that have occurred within the last week. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And we've now got an alert set up to monitor this particular calendar. So what happens if you go through and you configure an alert that's a bad alert? So let's talk about some of the ways that we can set up a bad alert. I'm going to navigate back up to my project site. So if I'm contributing on a document library and I have hundreds of other users contributing content to this document library on a regular basis, it is possible for me to actually set up an alert that actually causes extra work for me rather than notifying me that things are changing. So if I set up an alert on this document library that notifies me when anything changes by anyone and I'm sending a notification immediately, it's possible for me to get hundreds of emails per day for all the content that's being contributed by users. Obviously, filling up your inbox with emails notifying you that content has been changed or created is not particularly useful to you. So how do you go through and actually make changes to an alert like that? Well, there's really two ways to do it. We can either go to the document library where the alert is configured, and one of the choices we have on the Alert Me button is Manage My Alerts. So I have the ability to go in and take a look at the alerts that have actually been set up on this particular site. I can select the specific alert that I'm interested in, so I can go to my Shared Documents alert, and I can either make changes to the alert so I can be a little bit more specific. I can say when new items are added and send a notification on a daily basis to cut back on the amount of alerts that I'm getting. The other option I have for managing alerts, if I'm not sure where the alert has been created and I haven't followed best practice and given it a very good and descriptive name, I have the ability to manage alerts by clicking on my name in the upper right hand corner of the screen. One of the choices you have on the drop down when you click on your name is My Settings. So if you click on your My Settings, you have a link here at the top called My Alerts. And this will show you all alerts that you've set up throughout the entire SharePoint site collection. So I can go in and manage alerts and either select an alert and delete it, or as before, make changes to that alert. Another very useful alert for the information worker is to be notified when items in search change. It's possible to search for a term or a phrase and not have any results come back, even though you know in the near future that somebody's working on a specific document that's going to contain that information. So we can actually be notified automatically when those search results change. So to set up an alert on a search result, we first navigate to our search and we type in the term. So I'm looking for an aerospace document. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search, and we'll see that no results have been returned when I search on the word aerospace. We have two icons on the search results page, one of which is Alert Me. So I'm going to select that icon, and I can actually be notified when new items appear within this search result. So to set up this alert, I can go ahead and hit OK, and I'll be notified if any new content with the word aerospace shows up in search. One of the other things that we can do, if we have elevated permissions within SharePoint, we have the ability to set up alerts for our specific information workers. So I'm going to log in as a power user, and I'm going to go to the Shared Documents document library. And one of the things that I can do here as a power user is actually set up alerts for staff or users that I manage. So you set up an alert for other users the same way you'd set up an alert for yourself. You click on the Library tab within the ribbon, you select the Alert Me icon, and you set an alert on this document library. Well, notice that not only can I set up an alert for myself, but I have a user dialog box here. So I can set up an alert for Laura Callahan, for example. I can check names, and I can notify Laura when any new items have been added to this document library. That's very useful if you're managing a team and you want to make sure that your staff are being updated with the latest changes within SharePoint itself. That concludes our information about setting up and managing alerts. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.